So the self scheme is a huge piece of it. And it's probably the thing that when clients work with me, I get the biggest, like, I wasn't expecting this. And where a lot of guys will struggle in the health and fitness space is they step into like a challenge, like 75 hard, maybe guys here have heard of. It's a really popular quote challenge. And people are trying to solve, again, lifestyle issues through some short-term fix.
All right, welcome to another episode of Made to Matter. I am your host, Adam Landrum, and this is the podcast for men in their second half who want to discover their purpose, do their life's work, and have a more fulfilled second half. So thank you again for joining us. And today I have guest and coach Luke Depron with us. And Luke specializes in nutrition and fitness. And we're going to talk about what type of nutrition and fitness we need to be doing in our midlife and in our second half. So Luke, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, man. Appreciate the opportunity to come in and have a conversation, as obviously this is something I'm passionate about. And I love the idea of maximizing this second half. I know for a lot of guys, they think it has to be like a downhill adventure after 40, and that absolutely does not have to be the case. There's still a lot of fun and a lot of movement to be had out there.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. But hey, do you want to give a quick overview bio of yourself and what you're up to?
Sure. So, longtime health and fitness worker. I've done it all from personal training to corrective exercise, worked in rehab studios, went to school, got a kinesiology degree, was originally in business, wondering what is going on in these accounting classes and thought this is terrible. So shifted gears over to the kinesiology department. And I've been working in that industry for the last, 17, 18 years now. So today I run a company called the Fitmen Project, and it is an online coaching program where we really help guys step into true lifestyle changes around their fitness, their nutrition, their lifestyle, updating their self schema with the end goal to make exercise and nutrition be something that serves them and moves them forward in their life rather than something that takes over their life. There's a really big misunderstanding. I think that you have to live this like bodybuilder, fully obsessed with exercise life to see any benefits, when reality is exercise and nutrition, they should be supporting the things that you're actually passionate about, whether that's family, travel, your business. And it's really just about helping guys show up as kind of in their full capacity.
All right, great. All right. So I have, like, from that little statement, I have about 20 different questions. All right. So you said life schema. Can you unpack that?
Self schema.
Self schema. You said
lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have to update the lifestyle and the self schema. So the self schema is a huge piece of it. And it's probably the thing that when clients work with me, I get the biggest, like, I wasn't expecting this. And where a lot of guys will struggle in the health and fitness space is they step into like a challenge, like 75 hard, maybe guys here have heard of. It's a really popular quote challenge, and people are trying to solve, again, lifestyle issues through some short-term fix, through some short-term struggle and challenge, with the idea that maybe I come out the other side a different guy. And for most people, there's a reverting back to habits. And so if we're going to make things stick, we really do have to update, like, how do we think about ourselves? We need to build some confidence through competence and like celebrating wins. And so the emotional component of kind of transformation is a huge piece of this. So, and it can really be as simple as, so in my coaching practice, we have all the guys go through what's called a big why exercise. We get really detailed on, like, why are you doing this? Like, why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Right? Like, at the end of the day, like, you get on the scale, like it says 180. Okay, who cares? Like, what's that actually going to do for you? Like, what's the impact it's going to be? Like, and we try to, like, is there a monetary situation? Would it help your business if you're somebody who speaks from stage, or if you're doing sales? Like, possibly, right? Like, anchor that in. How's it going to affect your relationship with your spouse? Like, hey, you're probably going to have more and better sex, right? What about your kids? You're going to have more energy to play. And we want to.
I hope everybody heard that. You're going to have more and better sex.
Absolutely.
So, Luke, I think your email's going to be blowing up already.
I mean, if that's not a driver, we got to look at some things under the hood. Then we got to run some labs. So if we can layer all of those kind of attributes of benefits into a big why statement. Then we need to anchor in an identity. And for most guys, it's literally just anchor in fitness to whatever identity they hold. And you probably, like, you as an entrepreneur, Adam, like, that's an identity. Maybe as a dad, that's an identity. So it's like, how do we become the fit dad? And you have to start making decisions and thinking from that perspective. Like, what decision does the fit dad make when he's at the game watching his kid and all the other dads are sitting there drinking beers and eating nachos? What decision and choice are you going to make? And so if we start anchoring those decisions, and then the way we strategically do that is we start layering in hard lines. And hard lines are self-chosen kind of guardrails to keep us in check in the areas that we personally have challenges. So maybe it's alcohol, right? Alcohol's a big one. Okay, cool. If alcohol's an issue for you, we're going to put in a hard line of whatever. Like, we only drink 3 times per week, 2 drinks at a time. Boom. Right. We anchor that through the fitness identity, and it's driven through the big why. We always are going to start small with a guaranteed minimum standard. We're going to knock it way down, make it so freaking achievable that you're able to get it done. And we start to build some confidence with this. So many guys have, unfortunately, in the health and fitness space, they've taken a path where they've literally led themselves to failure because it was unsustainable. And they've actually built up the self schema that, like, I am an overweight guy, I am unfit. And they've proven that story correct many, many times through every crash diet, through every crazy program that they couldn't stick to. So we really have to get on the other side of that. We have to rewind that. And we do that again through building little micro wins, celebrating those wins emotionally, which is really hard for guys to do.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that. So that's kind of like the overall, like, process of how do we kind of update that self schema.
Yeah. What can you give me a macro example of, is it like a typical dad self schema versus the fit dad self schema?
Yeah. I mean, how many guys, like, we hear dad bod, right?
Yeah.
That will, like, throw that around, and it's like, oh yeah, I got the dad bod. And, like, they've gone down that path again from, like, an identity standpoint versus, again, like, anchoring in as the fit dad. And, like, those are 2 very different, kind of paths to walk in life. I was speaking with a guy, and where this really, like, lands is, I was speaking with a gentleman the other day, and he goes, yeah, well, because I was like, it doesn't have to be hard. Eventually it can be easy. And he's like, oh no, I mean, it's always going to be hard because, like, I travel a lot, and, like, you go into that store at the airport and there's 1,000 options. And my response to him, I go, yeah, no, there's not. I go, for the people who
0 options.
Yeah, I go, for the people who've done the work, there's like 3 options. There's the hard-boiled eggs, the apples in the bowl, and some beef jerky. And so that's where it can come from a place of ease when identity starts to drive decision making. But yeah, like that, like, classic, like, dad bod, like, having my beers while I'm watching my kids play the game, sitting on the lawn chair, versus, like, hey, fit dad, you're out running routes, you're throwing the football around.
But is it dad bod's self schema is unlimited drinking. I eat whatever's in front of me. I work out if I feel like it. Like,
like, I have kids. I don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, classic, right? Which is, again, there's a really good example, because there's going to be someone who absolutely says, like, you don't get it. And by the way, guys, listen, I don't have children. You don't get it, man. With kids, it's impossible. I don't have time to work out. Cool. Right. Well, I can go show you my client, Drew, who's got 4 daughters under 10, who dropped 46 pounds and runs 3 businesses. So it's like, that can be a driving motivation, or it can kind of be the reason that you're in the challenge.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, and I assume a lot of people, it's just a fact. It's just like, hey, who are you? What's true to you? And then what would it take to get what your vision is, what your why is? And, like, okay, we have to start reprogramming that.
Yep. And again, that you want to do I start everybody with exercise, because to me, exercise feels really, like, actionable, even though nutrition's probably going to be the biggest mover of things, but it feels really actionable to, like, physically do something. The endorphin release is awesome for guys. But, like, literally just setting a guaranteed minimum standard. So I have a rather lengthy intake form when I work with guys, because I want to, like, hey, what's your favorite food? Let's keep that. What are the things that are going to, like, trip you up? Let's figure out those in the beginning. And I ask every guy, like, how many hours per week can you specifically dedicate towards exercise? I can't tell you how many guys will write 7 days, which mechanically, by the way, we don't need to do. We don't need to exercise 7 days per week. That would be likely inefficient, in fact. And so no matter what a guy tells me, I'm usually going to cut it down. So if a guy says like, oh, I can do 4, it's like, okay, but this is a guaranteed minimum standard. Absolutely nothing can come up. Like, it has to get done. So should we make it 2? Now you can have the stretch goal of 4, but 2 gets done. And this again is the value of, this is where true, I think, like subconscious self-confidence comes from, is you actually executing on what you said you were going to do. Whereas so many guys, it's like, oh, I didn't get my 4 done. And then they beat themselves up, and then we fall down the hill, and all of a sudden we're back to being a guy who doesn't exercise. We need to build that confidence through true competence of, we said we were going to do it. We got it done. No bullshit, no questions asked. And so make it easy.
So is the schema a tool to get them to the lifestyle?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm a fast learner, Luke.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
it may not look like it, but
nah. Which at the end, what I would tell everybody, and I on a coaching call, I always ask clients this. I go, is anything we're doing right now feeling hard and heavy outside of the strength training? Like, it should feel hard and heavy because you're getting stronger.
Yeah.
But ideally the answer to that is no. Like, so I have a call with a guy, and I already know the answer because we've chatted via text as well, but it's like, he's down 24 pounds today in 12 weeks, which is an extremely fast rate of, he was a bigger guy. So it can't go any faster.
Yeah.
He's working out only 3 days per week. And it's like, hey man, is anything that we're doing feeling hard and heavy? He's got 2 kids, busy career. And his answer is like, no, it has to land in that place. Like, we need to try to figure out, how do we make this easier? Where so many guys are looking at it like, all right, let me go do this hard thing to fix this thing that's already a challenge.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go that route. So at the end, when we come out of the lifestyle, yeah, it's got to last. So it does have to exist in some way from a place of ease. Things are hard, sure. Like, your workouts should be hard. I want to eat all the cookies every day that I see them. I suffer from that too, but we should be able to come up with some easy strategies to mitigate things. So to make this a true lifestyle, it should be something that doesn't feel so heavy and so like burdensome to maintain.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, if it's too hard to do, what I've learned in business, if it's too hard to do, people won't do it.
Yeah. The business analogy is this. Most guys try to take a marketing launch approach to fix their health and physique when they need to take a business plan approach.
Okay.
And it's like that short burst of intense effort, thinking you're going to like solve it. It's not going to get you there.
Yeah, we're thinking marathons, not sprints, and you don't need to set a world record in the marathon either. You can take your pace. Yeah. So, all right, as an example of something that you mentioned this about, or you alluded to it, nutrition is greater than exercise. Let me see if I can get my words out. And I definitely have experienced that, but I'm just going for some free consultation here from you that people can use. I'm still struggling with the snacking. So you mentioned the cookies.
Sure.
So I did calorie counting, and it was eye-opening for me. Yep. I was like, holy cow, that little handful of peanuts is 200 calories. Yep. That does not work. I already have my exercise habits. So that's not a challenge for me. It's really more on the eating side. So what would I update in my schema, if I'm even using this correctly, to counteract that darn snacking?
Sure. So, great question. And again, I tell guys, like I said, I want to eat all the like, hey, do you want a cookie? How many do you have? So, I have a client right now who, again, one of his hard lines that we layered in, it's, I don't eat kids' food. And then we get back into the identity. Because again, as a parent, it's really easy to like snack through the goldfish, clear their plates, right? Like, oh, I'm wasting food. And it's like, throw it away. Like, you're wasting your life by getting, type 2 diabetes. So for him, he had to anchor in a hard line, again, built on the identity of like, I do not eat kids' food. So snacking, you mentioned having done some calorie counting. Again, great tool at times for the right person. And you mentioned it being an eye-opening experience. It is for most. So for a lot of guys, we do leverage that at a time for, again, often that educational piece. But where snacking's going to get most guys is, at the end of the day, it's going to come back. Everything comes down to processed food. Like that is literally the game and the challenge that we're all trying to navigate throughout life. Okay. Because if I put plain chicken breast, boiled white potatoes, and strawberries, you could self-regulate on that all day. Like you will not overconsume, you will not, quote, snack. And so it really does start just understanding kind of the don't want to say the challenge, but the the enemy, if you will, like understanding the processed food, um, the actual manufacturing process of processed foods. When you understand that, you'll have a better realization of like the battle that you're actually fighting. And so it's not so much a self will and just willing yourself to not do it once you understand the mechanisms at play. So things like chips, like they know, and they're manufactured, and there's nothing malicious with this. It's just to make them highly palatable so you enjoy them more. But like they know the amount of force on a chip for you to it lands on what's called a bliss curve. And bliss is a very interesting word. It's not like happy, it's bliss. And if a chip is too soft, you won't eat as much. If it's too hard, if it takes too
Wow.
much pounds of force on your teeth, you will not eat as much. There's a reason chips don't have single flavors often. So like you won't find a rosemary flavored Dorito, but you'll find a nacho cheese Dorito. And if you flip it over, you'll notice there's like 4 different types of cheeses because they're hijacking what's called flavor saturation. Whereas if it was a single flavor, your taste buds, basically these little synapses get filled and it's saturated the flavor and you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
With that combination of different cheeses, your brain is like trying to figure out what it is and you want more.
Okay, so the food science being done is stacked against me
100%
for my snacking. Okay, that makes sense.
Understanding that,
Yeah,
that awareness, I think is super, super useful. Just like you, if you have children, understand that like Instagram is a problem for them.
right.
It's a problem for us as adults,
Yeah, I
right?
was gonna say for them.
Yeah. So understanding that is like, there's literally like this weaponized thing.
So I can like fight the man. I can like fight. I mean, like I'm not gonna snack because I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction.
Yeah. So again,
Yeah.
I love that. That would be a good like hard line, like that self schema thing. That'd be great, right? Yeah. But ultimately, it always is going to come down to like, how do we control the environment?
Yep.
So
Okay.
it doesn't mean to not have these foods, but we need to have them with intentionality. We call this at Fitmen Project, we call it the strategic treat. And the kind of golden rule is we do not use willpower to exercise moderation as an eating strategy. We use willpower to use moderation as a buying strategy. Buy the single bag of Doritos, buy the single thing of ice cream, go get a couple single pieces of pizza. All of it's fair game and you can have it, but thinking that you are going to load your pantry up with family size bags of Doritos, a freezer full of ice cream, and not overconsume is you not understanding mechanistically what you're up against. So you have to figure out like, what are your personal fail point foods? I could have all of the candy in the world in the house. I will never touch it. It does not appeal to me. Chocolate in the house, I'm going to smash it. It's gone. Like the self-control is out. So I know I literally cannot have, I'm not going to have tons of chocolate in my house. Do I eat chocolate? Quite regularly, actually, but I pick it up at the store. There's this little single chocolate. I had one last night, little single chocolate ball that I grabbed. It was like $1.50 instead of, and I even had a lady say, they make a bag of these. And I'm like, can't do it. And so it really is, controlling the environment. Now, again, if you have children, man, you are going to have to like lean into the willpower a little bit more if you're going to have some of those foods. And again, we can use the identity of like, I don't eat kids' food.
Yeah. So okay. So I need to do that. I mean, part of my strategy. We can move on after we're done with me here. But is I only eat planned snacks. So they're usually protein based type snacks. They're not processed. However, that has not been foolproof. I'm still going. My thing is a little handful of peanuts with some chocolate chips in there. Again, probably 250 calories, and tastes so good, but it just really doesn't do anything for you. So except add weight to your middle.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it is budgeted in, and I know you mentioned having tracked calories. Whether you track calories, there's other tools, obviously, and other strategies. But if you have accounted for it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with bringing in 250 to, depending on how big you are, 300-400 calories of quote fun food into your day if it is accounted for. Yeah. Again, if you're talking to me, that handful becomes 12.
Right, exactly. Right? That's the problem, right?
Yeah. And so again, there can be this is where like you do leverage the hard line things of I do not do X after Y, or like I only have. And when they start to become more identity-based decisions, you at least have a better opportunity to override that kind of like mechanistic pull that is so intense.
Yeah. All right. Well, so paint for us a picture of, especially your clients in midlife. coming to you, what do you typically see the main need being, or
Mm,
want? Maybe I should say the want.
let's do want. It's interesting. I would say the fire alarm is usually the physique. That's what they notice.
Okay.
But when we really get into it, they're like, man, I just want to get better. I just don't feel good. I don't have the energy. And, obviously like the confidence is dropping, but at the same time, these aren't 22-year-old single guys, most of them. I do have a few single guys back out in the field, but it's not this purely physical, hey, I just need to look good at the beach. That's a great result, but really it's often a lot of kid motivation, a lot of health motivation of like, hey man, like realizing that they got to be able to keep up with their kids. I mean, I've had the last like 4 guys, I've had like 4 kids under 10 or 12. And
Really?
it's like, yeah, I've had like three or 4 guys that have 3 or 4, and they're all daughters. One guy has
Huh.
4 daughters, and like he had 4 daughters and a wife who was dealing with she's fine, but brain cancer. And it's
Oh,
like that dude's got a ton on his plate. He's managing a massive pipeline and financially for his business. And it's like, he wants to feel better, man. He wants to
yeah.
have more energy. He wants to have confidence that he's actually going to be around. So there is a lot of that kind of higher level desire of like showing up as a dad, and really experiencing life, like being able to just have the energy to go do stuff, have fun. And then of course, like, yeah, they want to look better.
So oftentimes the physique is the trigger, but when they go through your process and dig down deeper, they start
Yes.
identifying some maybe more priceless things of, man, I want
Yeah.
to feel better. I want to, health is wealth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, along those lines.
100
Okay.
100%.
So how long would you say it takes again, this midlife man, and I know it varies, so I'm looking for average, but to go from when they show up day one to whatever their picture was, or whatever you guys decide on, how long does that take
Yeah.
a good client to
Man.
get to?
Yeah, that can obviously that can vary. A real long time for some people. And then, you can get some pretty massive transformations. You can do a lot in 90 days. So like,
Okay.
um, again, when I'm working with guys, I do have the conversation where I'm like, worry less about getting to the end goal when you work while working with me, versus worry about the fact that you're going to be confident that you will for good, which is kind of an interesting and probably not as smart of like a sales pitch as the people who are like, here, I'll just put you on a crash diet
Yeah.
and get you there, and then you won't last. And so, I do all of my coaching in 4-month blocks. And the reason being is 4 months is a really good time where you're going to make a really good dent. So again, I've had guys drop 46 pounds in 90 days. That
Wow.
again is very aggressive. There was also a lot of alcohol involved. Again, I have a gentleman right now who's
You mean
25.
before there's alcohol involved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna try the alcohol diet. But in 90 days, I would say it's pretty amazing how different somebody will feel.
Yes.
And realistically, losing 10, if we're talking weight loss, 10 to 15% of your body weight in 90 days is realistic. But typically, um, you need to think about like, hey, do we have the frameworks in place to then pull the lever harder when we want to?
Right.
That's really what we're trying to do, is like lay these skill sets to where it's like, hey man, you have the ability to diet as needed when needed. So I always kind of tell people, I'm like, man, in 3 months, like you're going to feel so different. In 6 months, you're going to look different. And in a year, you're going to be a different guy. And that's, if you need to stretch your brain to that point anyway, because what's the point of doing this? What's the point of doing this for 90 days to then not continue? There's
Yeah,
none.
and then your approach is right, is the mindset, the lifestyle change, and get the
Yeah.
results along the way and see the progress. Okay,
I have no
so
desire to like help somebody lose 20 pounds that they're going to put back on.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that would yeah, that would be discouraging, I would think. So what differences do you see between maybe the 30-year-old, 35-year-old versus the 45-year-old?
Big one is going to be recovery, which again, I think most guys misunderstand how much volume training is required. It's actually less than I think a lot of guys realize. Like I said, I don't have a single person work out 7 days a week. I want
Okay.
them active, but we don't need to train 7 days a week.
What are they doing on their off days?
So yeah, if we can get like step count's a huge piece that we're going to drive. Ideally, we try to get that through play, meaning like, hey, it's the weekend, like go hit around a golf,
Yeah.
walk the course. Like I got a guy right now who loves golf, so play with the kids, just general movement. But the idea that like you need to work out 7 days a week, you're probably not training effectively or efficiently if you are,
Yeah.
because you're going to require some recovery. So yeah, as guys get older,
What does recovery do? So I would say I was probably that mindset in my 30s is like 7 days a week, 6 days a week, and like if I took a rest day, I thought I was incredible for being so woke. But what is now I have to take a recovery days. I mean, I just can't. I can't not do it. But what's not too deep into the science, but like why is that more effective than doing more work?
So with like say like a 4-day training routine, the intensity that you can bring into that session if you're recovered is going to, particularly if we're talking like hypertrophy where we're trying to stimulate muscle growth, you're going to be able to bring a level of intensity that is much more adaptive versus if we're training 7 days a week, the when you can't recover, you're not going to be able to bring training intensity. The other piece is we're trying to mitigate systemic fatigue. So like if you're training 7 days a week, you got a demanding job, you got kids, like the chances that you're going to get like run down and sick, like that's going to start peaking. And then of course, psychologically, probably the biggest one is just feeling like I can continue this. Like you're going to do this next year. Like that's the idea.
Okay. And that, I mean, literally get into burnout if you're not going to take those breaks. So
And
I would imagine our most men don't realize they think they need less recovery than they actually do.
Sure. Yeah. And again, I get to work with some business owners where it's like that stress was real, right? Like those fires are real. So like sleep is super important. That's one that like right out the gate, we try to like get dialed, and just put value in. I think as you get older, again, you're going to be able to get away with less, right? I mean, if you think back to when you're a young 25-year-old and like, I mean, now it's like, if I stay up late and I don't drink, I wake up and think like, oh, I feel like I drank last night. I'm like, I just stayed up late now.
my 19-year-old son who it's 11:20 at my time. And he's, I think, still sleeping.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds great. I would love to live the night owl lifestyle. The world is not set up for us. Yeah. So the recovery piece is a big difference. And then, and like, that is a little frustrating. Like, so personally, like I would love to be able to do more. I mentioned I trained jujitsu and it's like, man, I took off yesterday. Cause it's like, oh, I need to recover. I got to listen to my body, but I'm playing the long game, right? Like I'm 40 years old and I'm still doing stuff with 20-year-olds on the mat. And like, I feel good about that, but that also meant, pull it back as needed.
Well,
the other piece.
Can we talk about sleep? Do you work with your clients from sleep? Like, do you get heavy into sleep, or are you giving them tips?
No,
or
just general stuff. Like, let's just get the basics dialed. Like, are you relying on alcohol? And if you are, that's
bad strategy.
Bad strategy. Doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
Hard to overcome if you are
What
using
about
it.
what about the CBD gummies? I hear people taking those.
I think it's worth a shot. There's a little sleep kit through Andrew Huberman, who's a Stanford neuroscientist. He has a kind of like a supplement pack that I think works pretty well.
He and I are competing for #1 podcast, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He was, when I ran a show, I had a verbal commitment that he was going to come on via email, and then he went on Joe Rogan, and I did not hear from him after that.
Oh man, so close.
So close. So I think he has a good supplement stack, and I do think but general like sleep hygiene, right? Like trying to maintain the same sleep schedule as best as you can. Obviously, like, hey, you should have some fun on the weekends. Take the trip. Blackout curtains, making sure your room is cool, cutting caffeine early. Like again, caffeine's a huge one. I mean, guys, where it's like, hey, it's 4:00 and you're pounding like your fifth coffee.
I think. Do you know what the half-life of caffeine is?
I don't remember anymore. It's significant.
I thought it was like 2 hours or 4 hours.
Longer. I think it's
4 hours. So I cut off at. So once whatever study I read, I was like, I can't have caffeine till afternoon. Like I got to be done. So I have 2 cups of coffee. That's it. Done by noon. Otherwise, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I'd have like a cup and a half of coffee in my system at 9:00 at night. No wonder I was sleeping horribly. Yeah.
And I'm one of those. I don't think caffeine actually affects me too much, but in general, yes. It's like, hey man, if it's like 3 o'clock and you're trying another coffee, thinking you're going to get to bed at 9 or 10, like you might have some struggle. So really, just I think the base level stuff, and we do track it just on general hours. And then, if somebody was really struggling, it's like, well, do you have sleep apnea? Like, let's go get a
Mhm.
sleep test and like
Yeah.
wear the mask if you have to. But like the sleep is a huge, huge piece. It was
Yeah.
actually something I struggled with a ton through my whole life. Um, but yeah, the recovery there is huge. And then the other piece with being on the other side of, say 40, integrating into exercise, we have to be a little bit cautious on like how fast and how intense we like volume up versus like when you're 20, right?
Hmm.
I think back to like being in high school, and it's like it's crazy to think that you went from not playing football to we just showed up and did two-a-days where we're just slamming into each other, falling on the ground. And it's
Yeah.
like, if I did, like I wouldn't be able to walk for a week if I did a football practice. So the onboarding process, again, using that minimum standard is also done to acclimate the body. Smart exercise for really, there's really from young to, I've worked with 80-year-old guys where it's like, they're still applying the same movements,
Hmm.
obviously with a different level of intensity. But movement patterns can be quite similar, but obviously we need to be conscious of how hard we smack the system starting
Okay.
out.
So for a man 45 who maybe has been mildly active, and that means in this scenario, plays golf, maybe runs in the turkey trot
Sure.
and Thanksgiving. What type of exercise is he doing with you initially?
So we're going to bring a strength component to every single guy. So
Okay.
as you get older, you have a natural process called sarcopenia that is taking place. And when you
Sarco
think of
what?
sarcopenia is the
Okay.
breakdown of your muscle tissue, and it is a natural occurring thing that happens after, I think it's about 30, it starts to kick into gear if you are not mitigating it through strength training. And um, when you think of an elderly man, we often think like, oh, they're like tight and stiff and they don't have mobility. While true, the big thing that really makes somebody old is they've lost strength.
Hmm.
Your inability to get up out of a chair has made you an old man.
Okay.
When you see that guy have to do the rock forward and then push off with his arms, your inability to get up off of the ground, that is a lack of strength.
Gotcha.
And so strength is going to be your biggest probably longevity tool that you have. Of all the stuff, all the longevity folks are talking about, strength should be at the top of the list. So a really kind of general strength training routine will get integrated. It's progressive over time. So even for that guy who like wants to run, which like I have a cousin who's a huge runner, and he reaches out to me all the time. Oh, I want to get faster. And I'm like, cool. Well, we need to bring the strength side in. Like you can't just keep running the same tempo to think you're going to get better. So it will be a very generalized but personalized strength program that is progressive in nature.
All right, and we are they this is virtual what you do,
Mhm.
right? They're not
Yeah.
okay. So are they joining a gym? Are they doing this at their house?
So this is where it becomes a personal choose your own adventure based on what is going to be the easiest for you to do. I don't want to say I make it a requirement. I try to push and lean guys towards a home gym,
Hmm.
particularly when they are busy. Again, if you have kids, like I have a guy right now who, when we started, he wanted to use the gym, and I love this. I love this guy. He's great. When we started, it was about a year ago. He had reached out, wanted to work together, and then flaked on me. And reached out a year later and said, "All right, I'm sick of my shit, and
Nice.
I'm sick of my excuses." So we
Yeah.
hopped on, and he's like, "Well, I do have a newborn that's going to be born soon. He already has two young toddlers." I go, "Oh, when's your wife due?" And he goes, "Could be today." And so he's going to go to the gym, and he does he works in the city, so he has a commute. And I'm like, hey man, like adding in a 25-minute drive to the gym and back when
Yeah.
you're going to have a newborn, like is that what's likelier to happen, you skipping it or getting it done?
Yeah.
So we probably want to have the ability to do a decent workout at home if needed.
Yeah. Okay.
For other guys, it's, man, I've been working from my office, I got to get out of the house.
Mhm.
And so it's really like what's going to allow us to do it. But there's nothing at a gym that you would need to go to that you couldn't replace with some equipment.
Okay.
So
So
most guys,
what's the minimal adequate home gym?
very minimum I start guys with is a set of adjustable dumbbells and an
Okay.
adjustable bench.
Got
And
it.
then the extra piece that we would layer in would be some type of overhead pulley or band. Even if we had to use bands, we could, some type of vertical pulling motion.
Okay.
And then, and I, I work out on my deck as well for the last like 10 years. I have a few other
Oh
additional,
yeah.
pieces of equipment, but I love a home gym. Now, granted, I'm working outside, which is what I enjoy about it. But from the time efficiency, man, if you're driving 30 minutes to a gym, oh gosh, by the time you drive, check in, like that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
All right, hey, where can people check out your home gym? Because I've seen at least one video, and I was
If
like,
you, yeah, if you go to Instagram, Fitmen Project on Instagram, if you scroll back, you'll see some
man,
workout stuff.
man or men?
Men.
Men. All right,
Yeah.
Fit Men Project.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
it's
and
going to
check
be
out.
mostly me with dumbbells, but I
Yeah,
have, I do have like 350 pounds of barbells, and I have,
I
I
think
have
weren't you
other
doing
toys.
something like on a tree or something, or on your?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have my pulley attached to a tree, and
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
like I have a water bag for like boxing. So you can layer in some additional things. There's other, again, if I had more space, I live in California. I would love to have like a sled. I'd like to have a tire and a sledgehammer. Like there's a few additional fun things, but for the most part, a good set of adjustable dumbbells, an adjustable bench, man, you could do a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. And you're so I just noticed that you're trying to reduce
Barrier to entry.
yeah, resistance, and like,
Yep.
let's just make this easy. Let's make this easy. Let's make this easy. Okay.
And again, what do most guys do? Like they're like they try to make it hard. Like
Yes.
I'm gonna sign up for a marathon. Oh, you like running? Hate it. Okay. Like what?
What and
Lifelong.
how does that play, how's cardio play into your mix?
So the thing with good quality strength training is I can't tell you how many guys, the thing that they're like, I can't believe how hard this is cardio wise. So when done mechanically well,
Mhm.
which we go through, like they have to send me videos. If it's really a disaster, we hop on a FaceTime rather than just sending videos back and forth. But your heart rate is going to be jacked through a good strength training session. So can we then layer in like some other zones of cardio? Yeah. Again, I would challenge guys to go do it through like play and fun,
Yeah.
right? Like if the idea of running on a treadmill sounds like watching a rotisserie chicken cook, like do not do that. Like, go play catch with your son, like throw the football around, run the
Right.
routes.
Okay.
And we can try to integrate that in a more kind of fun way. But the heart rate challenge from good resistance training is shocking to guys.
Okay. Very good. Okay. What would you expect? What would one expect when I go lift and I'm looking down at my Garmin? Should I see my, should I
I
be in
don't.
like zone 3, zone 4,
Yeah, I don't
or
really have an answer for that. I don't know. I don't want to make up an answer for you on that. It'll be up there though. Like again,
yeah.
go do some good mechanically sound split squats, and every time I go to do those, it's like it's not yes, it's the muscle, but it's the overall exhaustion where I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it probably tells me I'm not probably mechanically sound, or my workout's not
shoot
designed to
shoot me a video of it.
do that.
Let's take a look. We'll dial in those biomechanics. Yeah, and if you do get that, there is again like a minimal effective dose with exercise, to where if you are working at like again a 1 to 2 RIR, meaning like a true 1 to 2 rep in reserve, it's very intense.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, we're approaching time. So what advice slash hope, encouragement do you have for that? I'm just going to say the 45-year-old man. He's in midlife, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah.
And that's not totally true, but let's just play with that. And really, he wants to be set up well for the second half. He wants to have to live fully alive, and and just have a fulfilled second half. He knows that health and his fitness and is part of that. So what encouragement and hope do you have?
Well, I would tell you it absolutely starts with making a no bullshit decision. Like I'm going to tackle this, and then integrate it in a way that feels as easy as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would tell you to get some support around this, because you can make it a much more seamless process. And then from an encouragement standpoint, the challenge that exists in this space and arena is you can't take it for a test drive. You can't demo it, and you can't do a trial run of how good you're going to feel. But there is a version on the other side of this action that it's another gear of life, man, where you're going to feel better. I mean, there's a reason every single person like sticks it out and becomes this obnoxious fitness person that's like posting their photos of their food on Instagram. It's because they feel really, really good. And so if you find yourself in that kind of like dragging and then like not having the energy, man, there's another version. There is you 2.0 on the other side of action, but it does need to be strategic. And you do got to make that like commitment of like, I'm getting this done.
Yeah.
And then again, you back it up with a process that is quit proof.
Yeah. So no bullshit, commit, be in it for the long run, plan to be in it for the long run. There's no short fix.
There is not any short fix, but there are plenty of people who will attempt to sell it to you.
Right. Perfect. All right. So where can these guys find you?
Easiest place to connect with me, you can obviously go to fitmenproject.com. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as well. If you want to connect with me there, happy to have a conversation with anybody. I tell everybody there's no big twist your arm sales pitch. If we were to have a conversation, really just an opportunity to find out where you're at, see if I can support you. Obviously, if I can send you on your way and you do it on your own, great. If you need some support and some guidance through this, happy to obviously talk coaching, of course.
Awesome. Well, Luke, thank you so much for joining me today. Enjoyed the conversation. I took some notes myself, and
Awesome.
so I appreciate it. But thank you all for joining us too. Again, Adam Landrum, Made to Matter. You can find me at madetomatter.coach for men in their second half who want to uncover their purpose, do their life's work, and have a fulfilled second half. And then we're going to bring Luke into the picture because you're going to be fit while you do it. So it's going to be
absolutely
perfect. All right,
Love
Luke.
it.
Have a great day. Thank you again.
Appreciate it. See ya.